was wearing a beautiful white dress. Minimal makeup and open hair was the reason for her enhanced beauty, but a smile on her face was absent. Her village was fading from her sight as the car was leading to her husband. She got married to an unknown guy half an hour ago at the age of 18. Since Ryan turned 6, her ownership from herself was gone. The family members forced their opinion and decision to her. He is so rich, you will be happy with him. That was her stepmother's word as she felt uneasy about the whole marriage thing. Not educated enough to read or understand the papers, she signed them one by one. She signed her ownership to someone else. Her hand was clutching her small bag tightly, her 2 pairs of clothes, a frame of her mother's picture, and a marriage contract, aka her sold contract, was inside it. She was looking outside all the time with blurry vision. I hope my life took a good turn. She wiped her falling tears and averted her mind from the negative thoughts. After 2 hours of journey, smile finally came across her face. The buildings, beautiful architecture, broad roads, 3D ads, and modern people were astonishing her. Her whole life spent in a small village, and the beauty of the city was nothing but heaven for her. She was admiring the Busan city with her big doe eyes, a city where her future was going to ruin or get better. Soon the car halted at the airport, but she had no idea about it. You stay here. Okay. She nodded hesitantly. She was gazing at the people from the window. When the door opened, she saw 2 handsome guys were looking at her, and it made her scared. From Guryong? Yes. See, I told you it's 9. The guy dimples flashed and eyes were closed due to happiness, but the other one was kinda cold. Jay rolled his eyes and looked back at Ryan. Let's go. Where? She had no idea what they were talking about, and she surrounded her back to her chest due to fear. Noticing it, Jay leaned into Sobin's ear. She's clueless. Let me handle this. He turned his attention to Ryan and passed her a soft smile. They couldn't go back until they didn't fulfill the order of King. You came with the documents, right? Yes. Then let's go. He doesn't like waiting. Her mind clicked the word he. They were talking about her husband was her thought, but had no courage to ask them about it. She was an introvert as hell. She changed the car with hesitation. How old are you? 18. Wow, your innocence is deceivable for the work of an agent. She was confused. She didn't know the meaning of an agent and was about to ask, but loud music inside the car subsided her words. Soon the car stopped at the mansion and her eyes widened. Is he live here? Her chain of thoughts broke when Sobin gestured her to follow him. Like a obedient girl, she followed him and noticed so many guards workers inside the giant mansion. Her eyes were open in amazement, passing the living hall to the stairs and big corridor until they stopped at the room gate. A guard opened the door for them and they entered the big office. But suddenly her heartbeats became unknown to her. And intimidating eyes were stuck on her small figure. His charismatic aura was unknowingly pulling her towards him, and she was shamelessly eyeing the most handsome man. King, she's the one. A confused look crossed to his face for a few seconds, but he caught up, not leaving the eye contact with her. She couldn't meet his eyes and looked down. She was nervous, shy, and little bit afraid of him. Documents. She saw his extended hand and undid the zip of her bag to take out the wedding documents. Jungkook was observing her actions and expressions on her small face. She was the definition of beauty and innocence. She gave him the documents when Taeyang and Jimin entered the office. Once they eyed Subin and Jay with cold gaze, and it turned confused when they saw Ryan. That agent got into an accident and documents are stolen. The news was like a fuel in fire, but Ryan's presence was working as water. Subin and Jay was waiting for their punishment, but Jungkook was busy reading those documents. Are you my husband? Shock was written all over everyone's face. Husband and Jungkook would be the worst combination, but she asked with confidence yet a glimpse of shyness. Subin, take her to the guest room. She was disappointed but didn't ask again. He was not a guy she would argue or questioning, and silently followed Subin outside. Who is she? Jungkook gave the documents to Jimin and he read it with big eyes. It was the contract that she sold herself by her own will to an unknown owner. She's a victim of dragons. Dragons, a mafia group who smuggle girls, their organs, and the rival of Jungkook's group. Once they worked together, but because of this, Jungkook parted his ways and became each other's enemies. We can use her to catch them. Since when we started using girls? Tell Emily to investigate the girl and then proceed with your next plan. Taeyang and Jimin nodded with a sharing glance and moved out. Jungkook sat back on the chair to work, but that innocent girl was running in his mind. Wine got up from a small nap. Soobin told her to take rest, and due to the long journey, she was tired as hell. Stepping inside the washroom, she was amazed once again. The whole mansion was a wonder for her. Doing her business, she came out, and to her surprise, now there was a beautiful lady with a tray of food. She passed Wine a smile, and in answer, she did the same. Myself, Emily John. Beyond Wine. The normal conversation was carried on while having the dinner. Emily wanted to make her comfortable before proceeding to her actual investigation. Being honest, Wine told her everything from start to end. Tell me or any maid if you need something. She patted Wine's head gently before taking her leave as she had to inform the king. Everyone is so good, but what about him? She didn't know whom she was thinking of as her husband was the most dangerous mafia king. Looking at the stars of dark night, she talked with her mother for some time. I hope he treats me like human at least. She wiped her loner tear. Poor her was waiting for her imaginary husband until her eyes gave up. It was midnight when her eyes opened due to thirst. There was no water bottle or jug and she decided to find the kitchen. But suddenly she bumped with something hard and fell on her butt. Why there is a wall in between? She was in pain but soon her eyes caught long feet. Jungkook was standing there and looking straight to her soul. He was looking like a tower in front of her small figure. What are you doing at this hour? I'm thirsty. She wiped her tongue over her lips due to dryness, but Jungkook looked away immediately. Come with me. She followed him like a lost puppy. As her feet get inside the giant room, her eyes pop out. It was so big in front of her room and again hit herself with his back. I'm sorry. He poured water inside the glass and extended to her. She gulped it down immediately and wiped her mouth with her long sleeves shirt. Sit here. He pointed to the bed edge and she silently followed his order. Her cheeks were heating. She was alone with her husband and in his bedroom. Jungkook took the agreement prior to sitting beside her. Can you read it? I can little bit, but I don't know the meaning. She looked down in shame. Wine's stepmother never allowed her to go to school, but only work to earn money. It says you are not married, but sold to someone. Something was breaking inside Wine. This was the worst betrayal her family gave her, and tears automatically poured from her eyes. Her vision was getting blurry, just like her future hopes. Your family sold you for the money. A sob left from her mouth. She covered her face in her palms and cried her heart out. Tears kept falling, lips were trembling, and breathing was uneven. He was heartless, but her situation was unacceptable for him. He pulled her in his warm embrace. She was soaking his shirt and his hand was massaging her back to console her. The solace, warmth and shoulder she needed was given by Jungkook. If any member sees him like that, then it would be eighth wonder of the world. No one's loved me, she won't say if she knew, and passed out. Jungkook rested her figure on the bed before covering her with a comforter. Her fresh tears, red nose and cheeks were evidence of her heartbreak. Life is cruel and so am I. A dark smirk flashed on his handsome face and he called someone to kill her so-called family. Jungkook's eyes opened on the couch. He stretched his arm when he noticed the small figure was laying on his king-size bed peacefully. His dimple came to vision and he went to the washroom. He took a shower and covering his lower part, he stepped inside the room. Jungkook was processing what just happened. If his bedroom was not soundproof, then everybody could hear her loud voice. She hid her eyes with her palm immediately and ran away. In the door behind, she placed her hand on her burning cheeks. Her heartbeats were running like a marathon for her husband, but soon realization hit her. Her heart broke into a million pieces. With the water of shower, her tears were mixing and she wore another pair of her clothes. She saw a maid inside the room who took wine with her for the breakfast. She had no idea why he was treating her well when she was nothing but a burden. She avoided Jungkook and sat beside Emily. Her head was down and silently eating breakfast, but Jay broke the wall of awkwardness around her. I saw you running in the corridor. Did something happen? Vian's cheeks turned red. She gave a glance to Jungkook, who was already looking at her with his intimidating eyes. Answer, Vian. A naughty smile appeared on his lips. His actions was a big surprise for his gang members, but they decided not to make it obvious. I saw a ghost. Soobin and Jay shared a glance of fear, but the other people were trying to understand the meaning of her words. Ghost? Seriously? He chuckled internally. Having the breakfast, he was about to leave, but her soft voice stopped his feet. Yes, I came here because of a mistake, but you still treated me well, and I am thankful for it, but now I should leave. Where will you go? I don't know. Stay here. Another shock for the members. They understood I won't fall in love wall was now breaking like a house of cards. But you have to give me a job. From now, you will do my every work, from cleaning my room to arranging my everything on time. Thank you so much. About salary, we will discuss later. It was his last words before moving, and his members also followed him behind. She already started her job and cleaned his bedroom and study room. It was not that messy, and she did her job quickly. It was evening when he came back, and she followed him to his room as per his order. She looked away, seeing him removing his coat, tie, and folded his shirt sleeves. His tattoos were now visible, and so his veins. He is so good. Come here. She walked towards him near the coffee machine. This is a coffee machine, and I'll teach you how to make coffee as per my taste, because you have to make it daily when I return. He explained her everything that she didn't realize when he came back to her. His palms were resting on the slab and his face just inches away from her. The proximity was pounding her heart. Did you get it? Yes. Good. Now make 2 cups of coffee until I'm taking a shower. She made coffee in the machine and he also came back changing into comfy clothes. He took a cup and gave the another one to her. Let's have a coffee while discussing your salary. She nodded like an obedient child and he initiated the conversation. It started from her salary amount and ended with her past miserable life. Days were running into weeks. Wine was totally adjusted in the new atmosphere and thankful to Jungkook to let her live peacefully. In those days, she got to know he was the Mafia king. The news scared her, but he made sure that nothing was bad going to happen to her. In the evening, she was making his coffee when Jungkook came out only in his shorts. He took the cup when her eyes caught his bare chest and she immediately closed them. Oh God, wear something. Why? It's not good. What? Your thoughts? Her cheeks, ears and neck turned totally red. He knew his impact on her and loved to tease the poor soul. Her body filled with goosebumps when his lips touched her forehead, and the next moment she opened her eyes, but he was not there. Their relationship was gradually growing smoothly. He was a big flirt and she was his innocent, lovely lady. But no one confessed. He wanted to give her time to adjust in his dark world while she was hesitating. She was not good enough for him, was her thought. She helped him to wear his coat and adjusted his tie. They looked like a beautiful couple, yet they need to step into the relationship. Her palms were resting on his chest and he leaned in to peck her cheek. Please take care of yourself. It was the first time he was leaving for a big mission, a mission to end his rival and free those innocent girls. He must be heartless, but humans would never be the game of his play. For you, I'll be back safely. They never confessed, but they knew what was between them. She missed him so much. It was already a week she saw him last time and got few updates from Soben. She was impatient to see him and tell him how much he meant to her, how much she loved him with wholeheartedly. Hyung is back. Her bare feet covered the long distance of her room to the living area of the mansion. Not caring about anyone, she embraced him impatiently and his tiredness flew away. He surrounded his arms as well. He missed his lady love so much. The couple got the privacy. With a long, unbreaking hug, Jungkook consumed her in his arms and went to his bedroom. He placed her on the mattress and laid beside her. I missed you so much. I'm glad I was in your head all the time. He stole her kisses beside her lips. Her breath sucked when he almost hovered over her. Do you know, when you ask me, am I your husband? I want to answer you as a yes. Wayne was surprised, but he was damn serious. You touched my heart with those innocent eyes of yours, and your intimidating gaze was the reason of mine to fall for you. Definitely the opposite attracts. She was shy, still maintaining the eye contact with him. She didn't want to run away anymore and tell him that she really meant her words. Will you be mine, Wayne? Yes. She closed her eyes as he decreased the distance between them and shared the first kiss. Love, emotion were pouring through the heartfelt and passionate kiss. The start of their beautiful relationship.